Cool. So we just hit record. So fear, false evidence appearing real. Because what I know is with fear, in particular, that majority of it's in our head. And the reason I know this is because when we're born, we've only got two actual fears that we're born with, and the rest we develop over time through our experiences, through our childhood, through the rest of it. So when you actually think about that, and the two are, one's loud sounds, that's why you can scare a baby and it cries, and the other one's like the falling sensation. They're the only two actual fears that people are born with. So with that being said, it just comes, I guess, when you actually have a think about that, it becomes evident to me that most of the fear is actually instilled into us from other people and our experiences, right? So we're actually taking other people's fear and putting it into our lives. It's not even ours. So, and what we do know about fear as well is it kills more dreams than failure ever will. Because everyone, like the failure and success are hand in hand. Like cheese and Vegemite.
Yeah.
No?
Yuck.
Okay, so like night and day, heads and tails on a coin. Summer and winter, some other things that go hand in hand. Matt and driving a car fast. So that they're together. So you can't really expect to succeed if you're not expecting failure along the way. So when you're actually expecting failure, when your ambition is to succeed, if you've got worthwhile, predetermined big goals, and big goals are relative to you, you can't not actually experience failure when you think of it like that. Like you've got to take some hits along the way. It's just the way it is. So you've just got to be prepared for that. That's got to be in the back of the mind. And I guess fear really appears, especially once again when we've got predetermined worthwhile goals, is because deep down you really want to do it. And it might be scary because you've never done it before. It might be scary because a whole bunch of people have told you can't. It might be scary because you're borrowing other people's opinions. It might be scary because you're like you think you can do it, but you think no one's got your back. All these different reasons of why things might be scary, and you feel fear towards them, but that's okay because that's just part of the process. You know, no one I don't think anyone who's actually achieved their success to them has done it without proving someone else wrong. Everyone's had doubters along the way, especially early. So what I know that kind of happens when we're moving towards success is first you have the people that doubt you and hate you or not hate you, but doubt you and don't think you're going to be able to achieve it. And then secondly, you get people that go, oh, they're actually serious about this. You know, they're consistent. They haven't given up yet. And then lastly, you get the respect because they're like, whoa, this person, you know, I didn't think they could do it, but they could do it. And we really, really respect that because people don't really respect the A to B, like the you know, you're here now and that's where you are, or this is where you were and that's where you are. They respect the effort in between, right? So there was a good analogy in one of the videos I watched today is it said, fear is the dumbbell of life. So it makes life worth living. If we weren't scared of stuff, then there'd be no difference between us and everyone else. There'd be no resistance. You know, without gravity, there's no flight. It's the same type of thing. So the mindset, I guess, we've got to have when it comes to fear and overcoming fear and the fear of rejection is there's a couple of things. Number one is, especially with fear of rejection, is that the time will fuel the fear. So if you're waiting to pick up the phone, waiting to make that call, waiting to ask that person, waiting to give out the flyer, waiting to hear what people think, the more time we actually give that, it's like fuel to the fire, the more time we actually give the fear to grow. It'll just grow and grow and grow until we get to a point where we paralyze ourselves and we can't actually take the action. So if you are feeling a little bit of fear, what the easiest way to overcome it is just to hit it straight away. And in Herbalife, there's things that we call the chicken list, right? These are the people that we're too scared to talk to. But these are the people that I'd be calling straight away, because the reason you're too scared to talk to them is you perceive that they're successful. And if you actually look at the business model, anyone with half a brain is going to want to get involved. So it kind of doesn't really make sense. It's one of those things that you've just perceived that in your brain. It's false evidence appearing real. You're making the assumption. And I guess so the other thing that when it comes to fear of rejection is you're assuming that they're going to say no, and you're assuming that they're going to maybe get angry about it. But I don't think I've ever had anyone be angry at me for talking to them about Herbalife, ever. And I've done cold market calling, I've done business to business, I've gone around and just spoke to people in the street. I've done basically everything just to test it out. And, people say, oh, do you want to come do this with me, like download members? And I'm, yeah, sure, let's go, let's do it. So a lot of you on this call I've done stuff with as well, and I've never had anyone get like aggressively angry at me for asking them if they want to come to a free workout. That doesn't actually make sense when you think about it. So assumptions is another thing that kind of fuels fear, especially in your own mind. If you're giving it heaps of time and you're making big assumptions, the easiest way to do that is just take action and knock it on the head straight away. So if you're scared to give someone a flyer, just go do it. Don't think about it. Just go do it. Don't give yourself that time to be able to, get yourself in that state where you don't do it. Because that person, with that being said, there's two pillars that Tony Robbins talks about a lot. Is the pain pillar, and these are for taking action, and for fear, the pain pillar and the pleasure pillar. So if you're perceiving that something's going to cause you way too much pain, you're never going to take that action. But if you're perceiving that something's going to cause you a great deal of pleasure in regards to doing it, then you're always going to take that action, right? Because that's basic human instinct. So what we've got to do is when we're thinking things are going to cause us pain, say, well, start to question that and say, like, what's the worst that can happen here? Why am I so scared of this? Like, what's the big deal? What's the worst response that person can have? And being realistic and actually start to logically question those pains, especially when it comes to fear and taking action. Because when we do that, we're actually going to come to the conclusion that, hey, I don't think there's a really bad outcome here. Let's just go give this dude a flyer or something, or let's go ask that guy if he wants to get lean for summer, or let's go ask that guy if they want to join the next Glow Lean Challenge. If they say no, that's great. At least they know what you're doing. It's kind of like when we do a business launch, right? And we say let's invite 100 people. It's not so 100 people come to your business launch. 90% of the people will say no. It's just so you're talking to people about what you're actually doing and raising awareness. So with that being said, we're actually expecting 90% of the people to actually say no. So if we were kind of scared of that, if that wasn't framed up at the start, yeah, that'd be scary, and you'd be really disappointed when people come through the doors, right? And you only had 10 here. But when that's actually framed up and logically that makes sense, and that's a win when you get 10. I didn't have anyone show up to my business launch. It was great. I was there by myself. So anyone there. I guess just in closing, guys, there's some questions I guess that I think we should be asking ourselves, especially when it comes to fear as well. And I've got them written down here, obviously. So how much time do we spend getting better? Like, let's look at the other side of the coin from fear. Because what I know is when we take enough action, once we stretch to a point, we're never going to go back to that existing point. Like the human mind, when you're getting better every single day, you're going to be here and then you're going to be here, but you never go back. Your mind's expanded. So you never actually drop back to where you're at. So how much time are we spending getting better every day? Because this is the key to your success. How many books have I read this month? How many books have I read this 90 days? How much audio have I listened to? How has fear been holding me back? Because if we're going to identify it, then we can say, okay, well, let's make some strategies to be able to tackle it. Yeah? How bad, and I guess the main question is, how bad do you want the thing that you're fearing? Because if it's really, really bad, then you can hit it front on. And you know, when we're talking about the pillars of pain and pleasure, you've just got to focus on that. Okay, I want this thing really bad because of X or Y. Like I want President's Team because I want the royalty income, which is going to give me lots of time with my family, going to not have to worry about all the money issues that I'm worrying about right now. I can drive my R8. Oh no, you're happy with your car. I'll drive my R8, Audi R8, like all these different things that you're painting these pleasures into your head. And then you're relating that back to the just going out and talking to people. I'm telling you, if you're thinking about your major goals when you're actually running around out there or talking to people, you're actually going to be talking about it in such a positive vibe. People are going to be feeling that, and you're going to get a lot better response anyway. So, got naked kids running around here. So, I guess with fear as well, the other thing that we can do as human beings is actually fear the bad stuff instead of the good stuff. So fear not taking action and what that leads to. Fear not being able to live your dreams. Fear that, hey, if I don't talk to this person, could be my next global expansion team member, and I'm not going to go talk to him because I'm worried he might say no. And actually question yourself that way. Or this person might be my next President's Team member. Might do it in 12 months, break the Australian record, but we don't know unless we ask, right? So how about we be scared of being normal? How about we be scared of working 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, having 60 grand a year, retiring broke, driving a crap car, living in a crowded house, you know, all this stuff that's perceived normal these days and painted as a good idea by the media and stuff. I'm telling you, I've seen how good rich people live, and it doesn't compare. So how about we get scared of being normal and we positively associate with being, you know, extraordinary instead, being amazing, achieving our dreams. Because I'm telling you, that's the life you want to be living. And even if you feel like you're moving towards your dreams, it's going to be you're going to be in that mindset and that success. It's not actually the achievement of your goals. It's the process of being in the middle. It's the process of moving forward and becoming better and growing that business that you really want to be a part of. So, guys, that's TGIM. We're going to wrap it up. Harry's running around nude here. Well, not nude, he's got a pants on. And thank you for listening, guys. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. Got another new baby on the screen. This is fantastic. And we'll upload these videos in a tick for you guys to rewatch. So have a good night, guys. Let's change some lives. Woo!